So yeah, I'm gonna sit right here. I'm gonna sit right here. You ready?
I'm good.
All right. Aren't you glad I said it? Take 1, shoot 3.
Welcome to the Aren't You Glad I Said It podcast. We are here tonight. Hoping to make this a routine thing, gentlemen. It's myself, Brandon. We have Master Will.
Greetings. We
have Rakeem. And we have my man, Stefan the Don. All right, guys. We're coming to y'all. Like I said, it's Aren't You Glad I Said It podcast. This is the first episode that we're shooting here. And, have some good topics, guys. Go over some things. Get some good ideas in, some good conversation. Maybe some disagreements, some agreements, hopefully. More agreements than disagreements.
Nah, disagreements is always good just because that creates room for debate,
Let's have a little fun while we at it.
Right.
Yeah, right. Keep it honest, always. So the first topic we have, we're talking about the 6 fastest, right? Everybody's been big on this, Sha'Carri Richardson. I know we even talked about the whole, I don't want to say scandal, the debacle that occurred with the whole marijuana thing and everything, but she had that race recently. And it was kind of like a replay of what the Olympics could have been, I guess. Going up against all the women that are the fastest in the world right now. And she came in 9th place in the 100-meter dash, in the Prefontaine Classic, whatever they are. Who cares?
Yeah.
She came in 9th place. How many places were there? That was last, right?
Yeah, that was last.
That was last, right? If they would have added one more slot on the track, like to make a 10th slot, she probably would have came in 10th then.
You just throw her
she made it to the races though, so let's not lose sight of that.
She did. Right. That's a fact. That's a fact. We gotta love that. Nah, but I'm not a fan either way. I'm a fan of track the sport, but I think it's amazing to even get to that point too. Like, I think that was a great point. Like, the fact that she got there, I think that's amazing. But it's crazy because after she did the interview, people were talking about the interview not going so good, basically, because she was like, I'm still the 6th fastest woman in the world. So, do y'all think she has the right to still claim that if she came in 9th place?
No, I do not. I just don't understand what her logic is. I do support her, but I don't support her just making a false claim blatantly in front of the camera. Like, clearly you're not the 6th fastest if you claim you came in 9th. But I don't know what she was thinking. She could have been high off adrenaline at the time, made a simple mistake. Maybe she thought she came in.
Was it adrenaline that she was high off of? Beckons the question.
Yeah. Speaking of weed jokes, there was a joke that I saw on Twitter. Somebody said she came in 9th place, and somebody said...
was it an 8th?
Yeah, that joke is mad funny. I was just like, they won't leave this alone. I know they smoke, so it's just like, all right, whatever.
I mean, I think people, it's hard. We live in an age where it's like you either get fully canceled or we just remember everything and keep bringing it up for the rest of your life. Like, remember you used to be short? Like, but I'm 7 foot now.
It's just like with J.R. Smith. He had a great career, but people always remember him for the one play when he was on the Warriors. What is that, 2017?
I don't know though, because he has that's like a career thing. Remember he was untying shoelaces.
Yeah, he did.
That's funny though, and he wasn't even remembered for that.
That's his path though. His path is like the quirky, the guy who you can expect the unexpected. Expect the unexpected guy.
Speaking of J.R. Smith, shout out to him for going to college, trying to get that degree, even though he needs no extra money. But
shout out to him. Shout out to him getting the debt.
He's not in debt though. He's not in debt.
He ain't got no scholarship.
I don't know about the scholarship, but he did just get approved to play on the golf team.
He's
on the golf team.
He did, but he didn't get no scholarship. This man putting himself in debt for no reason.
It might
that's
depend
less money
on how
for
good
any.
he's at
JR.
golf. Look, that's promotion. If I'm in school After this year, I might be like,
Right, we need a deal. We need to
attendance
talk-
is up.
We need to talk chicken at this point.
Yeah, that's how I was. I'm him.
Well,
I'm thinking
I'll
that.
need this.
Oh, you thinking about what?
Talk sponsorships.
Sponsorships. Okay.
He can get the school sponsorships if he brings people to. I mean, look, he's obviously going to attract a different type of audience to those golf matches or whatever they're called. Like, people are going to be showing up that are J.R. Smith supporters exclusively. Now, that might mean some wild stuff might also occur. However, sponsors will pay for some wild stuff. Sha'Carri didn't lose the endorsements, did she? When she got caught with all that about, I think Nike came out and said, "Hey, we're still behind her. Like, we're still backing her," which was, I thought it was dope.
That was crazy.
Because I hate the fact that if you make one mistake, they act like kids everywhere lose faith in you,
Yeah,
and it's like, but that's
Kind
not
of cheesy.
Come on, man. Everybody falls and scrapes their knee, and we don't just be like, no, they can't play. They're too clumsy.
This is the culture we're in right now. People just love to cancel you.
That's why I say
Just write
all the
you
way.
off, no matter
Yeah,
what it is that you do.
But you writing her off though. She's no longer the sixth fastest.
She was never the sixth fastest.
I mean, I think she has like the sixth fastest time. I would have to
She
check
has
it.
the sixth fastest record.
Ever.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Oh, but then they said I was she got that in practice or training or something, didn't she?
not in training. She got it in an official time race. So I don't think it matters what level because I don't know if it
they
happened
said
in college.
that time. I can't remember
or-
the numbers, but they said it would have placed her third. That time that she got for,
in the
for that?
Olympics.
Yeah. Okay.
So I mean, like,
So
that's,
she was
that's pretty valid. Like, if you
that
got
is.
it in the actual competition,
Totally.
the potential is there.
Historic.
Is what I'm gonna say. Yeah, like.
Definitely
no,
historic.
definitely.
But she still came in 9th place. Y'all think she was out of shape?
I think she was out of shape.
I think it must have been. It must have been that because you didn't hear anything, and then especially, I think her type of personality, she would say, if something else was going on,
Right.
but admitting that you weren't prepared for this run is not something, that would be advisable.
But
that's the
people
only
don't even care to
reason.
hear it.
Yeah,
They're not gonna
People
listen.
just
No.
people
gonna
don't
be
look
like-
at people as people.
yeah.
But you imagine it's no way you could be in a proper mind space, headspace, when you got all of this controversy going on, all of that, this type of magnifying glass shining this sort of light at you.
Yeah, they were expecting something great.
Yeah,
That's what I was about to
was
say.
too, though.
I at first said that she was out of shape, but if you just look at the post interview, it just looked like she was full of anxiety.
I think so.
I mean, it can come off the confidence to some people, but it's like kind of a false confidence. Just because I know she's seeing all of this stuff
a lot
that's
going
going on
on.
online,
There's definitely a lot going on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I don't. She didn't look out of shape. I'm gonna
Yeah,
say
she
that.
didn't. That's what I'm
Those
saying.
other women are really fast, and remember when we had talked about it before. I had gave you their times.
And they had a bone
She
to pick
didn't
with her.
even have times to beat them. The woman
Prior
who
to
won
this.
last year,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
To me, remember I said I felt like it kind of saved her from being embarrassed on the Olympic level because if you come in last there, it's not that you look terrible, but people start looking like, hey, wait a minute, what's the
Just
person
made it
we
out
thought
here.
was top 3,
Yeah.
bronze?
It could have been the most amazing marketing strategy in the history
Yep.
because for her to be held back, think about all of the fans that she would have been growing and just cultivating, that sort of following that she'd have had if everyone just been thinking like, you know what, the hope is on the way.
That's a fact.
Waiting until she get there and change the game, change everyone's perspective. But
Yeah.
these people this is the world contest.
Right. It's
Like,
on the
lest we
world
forget,
stage.
this is the
Because-
world
and you know what?
contest.
And they knew this too because that's even how they introduced the runners at that meet. They said that and then like after Sha'Carri, there was like and the fastest woman in the world, Elaine Thompson. Like they
crazy.
recognized it was recognized already.
Yeah.
Like they were expecting Sha'Carri to do something nice, but it wasn't any like I wouldn't say it wasn't any unfair spotlight on
This
them.
might have been one of the most charismatic that we had out there.
Right.
Personality sells.
Yeah, you saying Bo, he supports her, and it's crazy because he's Jamaican, and the Jamaican runners, I don't know, like in the post interview,
You want to say the culture over there.
Nah, I wasn't gonna say that. But I would
this the
definitely
king of
expect him
dancehall.
to back his people. I would definitely expect him to back his people.
You could do 2 things at once though.
Yeah, but apparently not the female runners, Jamaican runners,
Well-
because and her post interview, if you look at her in the background, you see the Jamaican runners coming up behind her and laughing at her.
Well, I think she was saying, and I think this is where her media training has to occur, right? Because if you watch that post interview, it's so much ego. And y'all know me, I'm like the biggest trash talker, winning and losing. However, in loss, you have to admit that you were bested. To me, that's just standard. Like, somebody beat you, hey, look, they did great.
Yeah.
That's it. We all came out, competed as hard as we can. To me, it came out, she was still a little braggadocious, saying, like, I'm still the 6th fastest in the world. But I don't know. I don't know if I would have threw that part in there right then and there. I would have just been humble, like, hey, man, these women are phenomenal. Yes. I love that I'm going to be competing with them for the next 10, 15, 20 years.
Right.
Like, we're going to do some crazy things on this track. Y'all see some real champions tonight.
That's a key. That's key.
I like
right
it though.
there.
I like it though because that one went viral. What she said managed to go viral.
That's
so
a fact.
I agree.
It was good. It was good media.
That's why very marketable.
Yeah.
Very marketable individual.
But infamous. You know,
hey,
that's gonna be
either they're gonna talk about you, or they're gonna talk about you.
Big talk.
Michael Jackson said there's no such thing as bad publicity.
It's not.
Who said this?
So, Michael Jackson said that.
Well, he should know. So yeah, I think she'll be good in the future too. So I mean, she knows how to go viral. She's very marketable. So I think she, you know, what I mean, she'll flow. But the next topic we want to get into, this thing with Max Kellerman. Y'all know who Max Kellerman is. He's the guy on ESPN. He does a show with Stephen A. First Take. There you go. He took over after Skip left, right?
Yep. 5 years ago.
Which is a rough thing to do in general, you know, to take over after Skip left. But do y'all think this has anything to do with Max and Stephen A's relationship? The fact that Max is leaving the show?
I have heard that I haven't kept up with the show, but I do hear them getting into like pretty intense like verbal altercations. Is that what you're referring to, or?
I mean, it's kind of the show, honestly. Yeah. Like when I watch it,
I thought that was him and Skip's relationship too.
Yeah, I never read too deep into it personally.
I saw an article that said that Max thinks acts like he's one of the smartest people in the room, and
he seems a little pretentious.
That would rub Stephen A the wrong way because he's
also thinking the same thing.
Yeah, he's crazy. He's intelligent though. He's intelligent.
We know Stephen A thinks very highly of himself.
But I think the duo, that was a good duo. I didn't think so at first when he first took over. I was like, who is this guy? He sounds weird.
He's not Skip.
Right.
That's what I was thinking. I hate Skip.
Yeah.
I hate Skip. But Skip is like perfect because you love to hate him. You love to hate Skip. Yeah, I could do without him as well. But he's consistent. Yeah. That's why I mean, once Skip went over and started doing a show with Shannon Undisputed, to me, blew First Take out of the water. In my personal opinion, like what I like to watch. But I think
I like Shannon Sharp. I think he's
more likable.
A great analyst.
Yes.
He's not as braggadocious as Stephen A.
He's braggadocious on himself, but he's not as quick to put down players in a real demeaning way.
It's different because he's coming from a player perspective.
That might be it.
Yeah.
That might be it, honestly.
I think that's exactly what it is because he doesn't know that when he's degrading these players, he's taking money out their pocket.
That's a fact.
And he knows the effort that it takes to even perform at this level.
No, he doesn't know. He doesn't know.
Because Stephen A, last team he played on was kickball in gym class or something?
He didn't get picked.
He's that black dude that got picked up and was like, dang, this isn't the one. We should have picked Jamal.
You can keep score.
Yeah. Stephen A, he's not very athletic, but he's not. So yeah, Shannon, he definitely has that player's perspective, like you said.
Right. For sure. So, I mean, I don't know. I think they had a solid relationship, but we don't know. I think that's one of those more, like, intimate things that it'd be hard for, like, outside looking in to really get a grasp. But overall, though, I don't know. Yeah, I think it'll be good for ESPN in, like, the long run.
Well, I saw who they get in next. I can't remember the dude's name. He wears glasses. He was also...
he's
NFL
white though,
player.
right?
No, he's black. He's black. He's a 3-time Super Bowl champion Let me just pull up his
How
name.
long was
real
Skip
quick.
on that?
His name
first
is
tape?
Michael
They
Irvin.
did like 10
Yeah,
years.
he was on there for a while.
It was
Michael,
like all our high school like careers.
Yeah.
High school.
Stephen A. and
Oh, yeah,
Skip.
yeah,
yeah.
It was like our whole and through college.
I would say it's not gonna have as much of an impact as Skip leaving. You know, just because of that.
For
He
sure.
hasn't been.
I don't
there.
know.
He hasn't
You're gonna
been.
lose a lot.
I
though,
want
'cause
Iguodala.
Iguodala on that show.
as an analyst. I like Iggy. I don't.
No, that's just one of Max's famous takes.
Oh,
you don't
okay.
remember
I
that
don't-
take?
I told you I stopped watching the show when Skip left because I watched Undisputed and I seen Shannon Sharp. I'm like, yo, I don't know who this guy is
Bro.
because I don't watch a lot of football, but I was like, yo, I like this guy.
Yeah.
He has a list, but
Right.
I take it,
Not
yo.
funny.
Dude, funny,
Yeah.
charismatic, and he
And
said
he has
real
wild
stuff.
takes.
Yes.
He has wild takes
I
just
love
like
the
Skip
cigar
had.
joint, the Black and Mild joint. It's a little buffoonery-ish, but it's hilarious.
Oh, Shannon?
I love when he showed up with the LeBron jersey with the GOAT mask on. And I love that he loves LeBron James.
Of course you
It's-
do. That's your man's.
I mean, I just want you to respect the best player in
He
the
is.
game.
He is sort of.
He's not the best player in the game.
Oh my gosh.
Here we go.
Oh
He's
my
not.
God. I don't want
Opened it up
to.
again.
I don't want to drift
All right,
off too far.
guys, you
but
guys-
Yeah,
argue
let's
about
not.
this.
Let's not.
Every
But I
time.
know that's why
Reel it
y'all
back in.
support him. I know. But,
yeah, but I think ESPN gonna be good. Long run, you said Michael Irvin.
Michael Irvin.
I've seen him.
Yeah.
He's been an analyst for a while now.
Yeah, but
been
he's
on this for a
getting. He's gonna be his co-anchor on that show. I know he wasn't consistent. Like he'll have appearances on other shows.
Right. That makes sense. But I don't know. Y'all think it's a money issue? Why they letting them go?
I don't think it's a money. Well, I actually.
They're the top sports network right now, ESPN. Just to put it out there.
I think Max might be getting more money somewhere else because there's no reason for him to leave unless Stephen A. wanted him to leave.
You think he built his brand up,
Yeah.
and then now it's just like kind of like
And
what Skip
also,
did. Skip was like, "I'm big enough now."
A couple days ago, they just had the Max's last episode, and Stephen A. wasn't there, which I find incredibly weird. But
Nah, that
he
means that
called
he didn't want
in. He called in to wish him well and
Oh nah.
and
That's
say
crazy.
They do that.
how great of a time they had on the show the last 5 years, this and that, blah 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 blah. But I'm just like, bro, why aren't you there? Like this looks bad. I don't know what are
Yeah,
you
for the
doing that
last
you
show,
can't
I
even
might-
show up for your own show
That's a fact.
on your man's last day. This is your man's, right? But you
I would've-
congratulate him.
I
That's
would've
a
had
little bit
pull
weird
up,
to me.
man. Like if I really like you, it's
Not even a
it's-
FaceTime. Not even a FaceTime.
Nah.
Phone call.
I don't know. This rough because it's kind of like the KD and Russ thing, right? When Russ said he just got a text message or he saw it on Sports Center that KD was leaving,
Yeah.
and it's like, well, KD had to ink the deal before this occurred, and you didn't hit up your supposed right hand man on the team at least. Like it's I don't know. It seems kind of shady. It
It
does
is
seem kinda
shady,
not to
and
be
that just
there.
solidified it for me. The fact that he wasn't there on his last episode there, that solidified it for me.
Maybe it
Something
was a
going,
relationship.
something was going on with their relationship. Had to be.
That's a fact. But I don't know if it was a money issue. What y'all think?
I don't know if it was money, but I mean, honestly, if things got that deep where he's not gonna show up, maybe it was.
You think it was,
Things started costing money. This relationship is starting to cost money now. Maybe it's called bad publicity. Well, you said there's no such thing as bad publicity, but we're gonna use it here.
Mike Jack said?
Yeah, Mike. But maybe that's a good reason to stop. Bring a stop to the show.
That's
Or
normally
stop to move
what
people.
runs things.
Yeah.
Moves people.
That'll,
Yeah.
especially, you know what I'll say though? I don't know if it was a lack of money, but I'm going to say it was like the money's moving things again. Like, because Disney owns ESPN and they're valued at over $200 billion. $200 billion. There's no lack of money there. And like, you can pay anybody to do anything. Like, clearly, you can just afford this. The Disney Plus app is doing pretty good right now. They pretty much got the game in a
They're
chokehold.
doing good, but they're looking at lawsuits.
For the Disney app or ESPN, you mean?
Disney.
side?
Disney.
They've been facing lawsuits since the inception. That's once you get, I think, valued at like $1 billion, lawsuits probably never stop. As
But
a
it's the
company.
thing because COVID, it changed people going to the movies, and now they're putting high ranking movies on
Blockbusters.
Yeah, blockbusters immediately streamed from Disney Plus instead of going to the theater, so I was taking away revenue from the box office. That happened with Black Widow and Scarlett Johansson. She's in a lawsuit with them. And I don't blame her. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't a bad movie at all. I mean, I was just tired.
I haven't seen it yet.
Just to chime in on, like, just to say that, like, that Disney is valued at $200 million. It doesn't really speak as
Billion.
200 billion. Pardon me. But even still, if it's $200 billion, that doesn't say that ESPN has access to it. It's a separate entity that's operating underneath them.
Oh no, I'm not comparing the two. I was only speaking on Disney Plus, on what they're dealing with. I don't think ESPN is in any lawsuits.
I'm just saying that they don't have access to the same funding though.
Company though. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't even know what.
So they're under the umbrella, but they still have their regulations and restrictions that they're working with.
Yeah, they're not touching that money. They're not even seeing
They have their own allowance.
Yeah, they got allowance.
As long as they wash the dishes and take out the trash, they get this amount of money.
Right. Nah, I mean, it's one of those things. I think the money is. I think they're good. It's just one of those things they probably did to just like, we're going to make sure the money stays good. We're going to make sure we stay in the green versus going into the red. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's all that was, and that's all that came down to, man. But I think Disney's good overall in the long run. We're gonna see them keep cashing out Disney, ESPN, and I think Mac's gonna do. He's gonna land somewhere good. You know, it's a lot of shaking up in the game, but. And the last topic, man, this has been like a crazy story, man. Yeah. Seeing it all over, and it's just when it first started coming out, I couldn't believe what it was I was seeing. People were sending me clips everywhere. I'm seeing it all over.
Yeah.
You know, this whole the Taliban thing. You know, days after the U.S. military took their forces out of Afghanistan, the Taliban took control over major cities, took over the president palace.
He fled the country.
Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy.
Hightailed it out of there with a plane full of money.
Yo, what would you have done?
Loaded it up with three Jeeps of money. And left.
3 Jeeps though.
3 Jeeps.
At least it wasn't Hummers.
Who knows? Probably was Hummers.
Right.
Probably was Hummers.
I would have got up out of there though.
There's a lot of spin on this story. Even from the beginning when it was coming out and it was showing videos of people like falling out of the planes trying to get on. It's crazy, right?
That makes crazy money.
Right, but did we hear why are these people trying to get onto the planes? Do we know why? It's because these were the people who committed themselves to working with the U.S. forces during the time their occupation, and when it was time for them to leave, they left those people who had put their lives on the line to work with them, and left them to be dealt with by the Taliban. Why they left? So these people were scared for their lives. They was like, Taliban's gonna kill us. We betrayed them all of this time, and they were trying to get out of there. They were risking their lives to try to fly out of there on the plane from the outside. No?
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Crazy.
That was OD. It looked like something out of a movie.
Yeah, that was the first clip somebody had sent me, and I'm like, dude, y'all realize the plane's gonna get so high.
There's no way you can
There's
survive.
no way you can survive.
But
this.
you're just
how fast you going is just.
It reminds you just of like that 9/11 situation. People were jumping out the window, like, you know what? Maybe I could make it.
There's no way. There's so many factors that are gonna kill you. I think at 300 miles per hour, if you're not protected by a vehicle or something else, your skin is coming off the bones. 300 miles per hour. So planes fly way faster than that. Number one. Number two. I mean the temperature and that altitude is gonna kill you.
You're not gonna be able to breathe. Yeah.
It's so many things.
Then I was like, yo, the wheels are gonna come up. I know this, right? Like planes don't fly with the wheels down.
Yeah.
So either you get caught in the mechanism as it closes, or like it's over, man. Like when I saw that, I was like, all right, maybe I should watch a story and see what's happening.
Speaking of story, I think they saw that in Toy Story because I'm pretty sure a dude jumped on the wheels and withdrew up and he was safe.
Oh wow.
Oh boy, I hope they were watching.
I'm not.
I don't know.
I'm not referring to.
In other words, Stefan would have jumped on the wheels.
Nah.
We can conclude.
It was the spot that
We
was came
cannot
on the wheel.
conclude this, bro. We cannot conclude this at all. I'm not throwing my life.
Jump on the front of the
I'm
wheel.
not talking
That's how
about-
you make it.
I wasn't
Coming
talk-
face to face with death, though. That's just what
Yeah.
that proves.
That's what it
It's
was.
just-
And that's what I was about to say. I'm not gonna be making comparisons to what these people thought was gonna happen by doing this stunt, but rather what led up to that thought process.
Right.
That you committed yourself to 10 years of going against a government that otherwise would do this and that to you and your family, all for you to be left out in the lurch once they decide to close
Hey,
up shop.
we're done here. Rest of you guys kind of figure this out.
Yeah,
That's kind of
that's exactly
what
it
happened,
was.
But what reason would the U.S. have to aid the Taliban? Like, y'all think that's what's happening now?
They believe, very, very unfaithfully, by the way, that they can work with the Taliban to combat ISIS. And I don't know why, because even, I forgot which head of government said this, but they was just saying that they're a ruthlessly terrorist group, but we believe that we might be able to work with them. I'm just like, I have no faith in this whatsoever. I don't think you do either. So I don't even know why you would put this on the table, because clearly there's nothing to eat off of.
I think I hear what you're saying. I just feel like it might just be one of those, the devil you know. Like,
My enemy is like the friend of my enemy is my friend or whatever.
I think so, because like the devil you know, because dude, like, how can you really justify somebody who like just took over and started killing people as soon as you left? As soon as you left, I saw a clip that was like the scariest clip of all time. A reporter was like, what happened to all of the weapons and things we were stockpiling there for the government that was in place? Do we know what happened to those weapons? They were like, well, we don't have a full accounting, so we don't know where like every AK is and things like that. But right now it's assumed that they may have access to it. I'm thinking like, yo, we need to get rid of this political correctness. Somebody just answer this for him. They have all the bombs. They have all the bombs. They have all the guns and all the means to wipe out thousands, tens of thousands of people. Like, just admit that y'all messed up. And so you now have to try to work with these people because you armed these people. Right. Like, they have tanks there, helicopters there, jets there. Like, that the government that they put in place wasn't even trained to do. So they have jets and stuff they don't even know how to fix. U.S. pulled out all our mechanics. They don't know how to fix the stuff that's already there. They don't even know how to fly everything that's already there and operate everything. So you mean we put billions of infrastructure into their weapons and we didn't even train them in all these years? What was the real plan overall? And I feel like that's why we falling back and we're like, oh, well, we'll work with them. Maybe they'll help us with ISIS and we can save some face. It feels like y'all remember the story when I think it was when Obama was president, and they ran those guns into Mexico. It was like 1,000 rifles or something crazy, and it was like, and they're gone. And everybody's like, but where'd they go? And it's like, oh, we think the cartel got hold, but there's no way to know. Meanwhile, in Mexico news, severed heads getting dropped off places as usually, and it's like, come on, man.
They know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. They're literally causing war within countries. Just leaving their weapons around. It's just like leaving a loaded gun in front of a toddler. Like you expect the toddler not to pick it up. No, there's something to play with.
That's their thing. But nah, man, we need something though. This last one, this was a weird one. Why are white supremacists back in the Taliban?
Yeah, I had came across an article. I'm actually looking at it now that white supremacists have been inspired by what the Taliban takeover, and the U.S. government has gotten word that they're using this like as a motivation, a symbol to start another civil war, and they feel like this was a success for the Taliban. And I'm just like, I'm reading it, I'm just like, oh nah, yeah, y'all know this and comfortably know this information. But once again, like they just let the roam free. Like they should have. They're still not considered a terrorist group, but that's another topic.
I didn't even know we just really knew where the white supremacists were. We just know where they are.
Yeah, and you know what? It's not. It's just the U.S. though.
We just
Canada has identified
Kansas?
like I think the Pride Boys or Proud Boys or whatever it was.
I heard this
that's
term.
what they changed their name to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they've
Oh, this is a
they've labeled
legitimate
them as-
organization.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
they changed the KKK to the Proud Boys.
And
Been the
Canada
Proud
has banned
Boys,
them.
though.
Yeah.
That's a better name.
Yeah.
KKK
It sounds
sounds
better?
old.
I mean,
Yeah.
it was a nickname for a while.
Yeah.
It just finally
Proud
turned the
Boys.
key.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could understand it. White pride, so whatever.
That's
corny.
just weird. I mean, I can see how I see the connection though. They are two similar type of groups, right? Radical extremists within a society that already exists.
Right.
Is what I would, although I will say I don't really know what the Taliban's goal is either. Except I just always felt like, why are we there meddling in someone else's business? Because it's just weird.
You know, there's so many. I was watching this video and it's ironic. I should have wrote down the points for this, but Afghanistan is such a resourceful and strategic geographic location in that area of the world that anyone would try to if anyone who has a capitalistic mind is going to try to take over this place. You know, their trade routes are great. They're oil rich. They have opium, like the opium fields are there. Like it's so many things, and not all of it is good, but it will definitely make you some money. So it's just a lot of
It's the
things.
capitalist mindset
Yeah.
right there. That's the main goal getting accomplished.
Right.
We can make money. I'll go.
That's it. That's
Like,
it. So it takes.
And I'm not anti-capitalism, but I get it. But it's just like, man, yo, I just don't get it. I can't wrap my head around why we would go somewhere without a real game plan.
It could be a couple of reasons. It could be for the money. It could just be just to encourage them to kill themselves and wipe them out so that they don't have to worry
it could
about
be
doing
population control. I can see that.
it. Not even just population control, just a sheer hatred and
Right.
thinking let these people kill themselves.
Or we can kill them, because I mean, Trump got into office. First 3 months of his presidency, he dropped the biggest bomb in history in Afghanistan. That was where it dropped. Biggest bomb that the U.S. has dropped was dropped in Afghanistan within 3 months.
Obviously, since a nuclear missile was dropped in Hiroshima.
Yeah,
I mean, you have to say that. People might
Right.
hear this and be like, he dropped a nuke.
Okay. All right,
I mean, they're
clarify,
still
yeah.
having birth defects to this day.
Crazy.
I mean, we don't know.
Dave
don't know
Chappelle,
what's
Hello
gonna
Kitty
happen
was
in
formed
Afghanistan.
from nuclear missiles.
Sorry.
No, they still do have problems though with that one though.
I mean, that's like a crazy one. Like,
You said the Dave Chappelle.
yeah, he was like, I mean, they still, have the nuclear missiles and all. I don't know. I would be careful when you say the biggest bomb, because there's gonna be some people out there
That's how
that
the
just
news
like,
agencies were putting it out.
wow. But all right, that makes more sense now that you said his enemies were putting this out about him.
Yeah.
But I get what you mean, though. It's like, every president has their mark. Before him, they said Obama had the most drone strikes in history.
Yep.
And drones obviously weren't as popular before him. So it's whatever they have access to. It seems
popular.
like the president is going to push that button.
It probably didn't even exist.
Yeah.
That's when it says new technology.
I think they started existing once that movie Stealth came out.
Stealth?
That's my conspiracy
Right,
theory.
yo.
How
That
some
was
small-
crazy.
Fox?
Jamie
Yeah.
Foxx, yep.
That was a good movie.
They took
though.
him out in there. I hated that.
Yeah.
I'm seeing
that
that
was a
they're
tough
saying that the reason that people are committing the Taliban's takeover is, and quoted, they quote, CNN had quoted that it's a lesson in love for the homeland, for freedom, and for religion, is what they quoted. The reason that people are supporting and backing it.
It doesn't sound like a bad thing, but I don't think any extremist group ever sounds bad.
Right. You got
It's just like once you start seeing them, it's like, but I don't think you should kill children, though, right?
right.
Right.
The
In order
kid's
to
probably
support
not
this.
suppressing you.
Right.
Yeah.
their ideals are always supported by absurd actions.
Right.
Sounds-
it's the actions.
sounds a bit
they speak
hyperbolic.
louder than the words. Yeah. It's but
You got extremists in the title for a reason.
yo, that's the truth. That's the truth. But
That's bad though.
hopefully they figure this out, man. Because I don't want them to. I don't even know what to say because they've already been going through it for 10, 15 years. Because to me, it felt like even when we were there, it was chaos.
Mm-hmm.
You know, from you bringing up the story that back when Trump was the president, he dropped the biggest bomb. This was what 5 years ago now.
Yep.
So it's like, man, so that's 5 years ago. Before that, you had Obama with the drone strikes.
Yeah.
So it's like George Bush entered them, right?
They've
And,
occupied. The U.S. has occupied Afghanistan for 20 years.
yeah, it's
This
like,
was
dude,
the ending of that 20-year war.
yo, that's just crazy. It's just like
Yeah.
it's a never-ending thing. So to me, I see, you know, a lot of people, we gotta stop the Taliban and this and
the
that. I'm like,
US is funny though.
it feels like we're just, it's a cycle.
We're
Yeah.
funny. I tell you that we're funny because we dead been warring with them for 20 years, and then we gonna take the troops out and say, yeah, well, we've been fighting them for 20 years. Maybe we can get their help to fight ISIS.
That's why I think it must be like an enemy, you know, and we know they have the weapons now to help us because we gave it to them.
It's just funny. to me. It's just
Right.
funny. I don't know. If I got a worse enemy for 20 years and we beefing every year of those 20 years, I don't know if I could turn around and be like, all right, well, maybe you can help me take out this guy.
You might.
You might.
You
You
seen
think
it?
so?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
seen people come
If he's posing
together.
a big
After
enough
20
problem to
years,
you,
though?
if
That's
he's posing a
OD.
big enough
Yeah.
problem to you, he might. But
Yeah.
I don't
I
know
get
if
your
ISIS
side
is
too,
as
though.
big as
I
the
get your
Taliban,
side too.
though.
You just ended a 20-year war, and not even 2 or 3 months later, you asking for help. Is it's a little bit bold.
I might
But
be looking at
When
it.
you
It
but
depends.
when you end a war, you've essentially you formed a relationship to some degree.
on
It's
what
closure.
terms?
Either
Yeah.
the person
they met
knows
at the
that
time.
you
Hightailed it
must
out of there.
submit,
They left.
or you decided that we can both benefit from one another.
Right.
Either way, there's some sort of functioning relationship that has been formed at this point.
True.
Or terminated.
Or terminate.
Depends on how you
Either
left
so
it.
you're forcing a submission, so
Right.
now you have to help.
True. I think it also came down because it's kind of back to the earlier conversation we were talking about with at Disney, right? It's about money. It really comes back to that money thing because
yeah.
I'm sure the U.S. sat down, kind of how we are now, pay like 20 other people with stripes on their shoulders who don't know anything, and they all decided, they gave their opinions, and then the last person spoke, and it was like, well, here's the bucks, here's the numbers, and that was the plan they went with. Like one person got him and said, we can save this many people. The other person came up, we can help building this type of infrastructure. Another person stepped up. And then the last person who spoke was the numbers guy. And they were like, numbers guy, best plan. Like, we can send troops. That's going to cost us money. We can send troops. That's going to cost us votes. Because there are people who don't want to reelect a president who is starting wars, who they feel is starting a war, which we all know perception is everything. He's not starting a war, but we know when you bring soldiers home and then you deploy soldiers, people are only going to remember that you deployed them.
Right.
Yeah.
That's it. You know, back to that earlier thing,
People
the
only remember
cancel
the bad.
culture. That's it.
Yep.
That's it.
Cancel
Yeah.
Biden.
Remember the
He's
bad.
You
terrible.
say?
It's like,
People
dang.
only remember the bad.
Yeah.
This man saved 90 lives.
Yep.
He killed someone.
He
Wait,
scratched
one person?
He scratched one person in the mix.
Are we sure they're dead? We have no confirmation, but he's assumed dead. Oh my God. All right. But no, it's like that's what it came down to, numbers, whether it was financial or it was re-election numbers. That's what this decision is here to work with them, I think. And it's unfortunate, but fortunate at the same time, because I think to some degree we have to think that way, because I don't think the best thing is to send our troops over there anymore. I really don't. I feel like even though we've caused chaos, it's like at that certain point where you're like, okay, maybe I should just leave this thing alone altogether and kind of let this figure out, because I've only been making it worse. Every time I step in and touch something, I break something else. And at this point, it's like, what are we going to go in there, create another fake regime that gets overturned as soon as we try to leave again? Or do we stay there forever? Then we have to commit troops there. These are people's children that have to go to a place where they might get killed. Because once somebody also knows you're staying forever, you're an enemy forever. And now it's no, we'll work together to fight someone else. It's you the problem now. So we're going to leave troops there. They're going to possibly get killed all the time. because now they know they have a permanent enemy. So it's like it's a lose-lose. I think we should pull out and just kind of like, I don't know, cut our own grass for a while, as much as we can. But you know, it's a tough job.
Yeah.
That's what I will say.
It is. It
It's
is.
tough.
Either which way you go, you're gonna
Yeah,
be
man.
faulted for either which direction you take.
Yeah, dude. So from Shikari to the Disney and ESPN to Afghanistan, man. So it's been an interesting show.
But the world always continues to go on.
That's a fact. That's a fact, man. But it was a
The
good
show
one,
will
man.
go
Right.
on.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed.
So yeah, man, this was a good one. So man, look, like we said, this is the Aren't You Glad We Said It? Aren't You Glad I Said It podcast. We're gonna be kicking it here like this every week, gentlemen. I think this is the start of something pretty epic. Pretty epic. Man.
Yes, sir.
Have some good topics coming. The world
right,
is always
sirs.
gonna be changing. So
Yeah, and if
so,
you guys got topics, definitely send them in. Send
Absolutely.
them in. We want all the hot topics.
Yeah, man. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the video if you're watching this on YouTube. And, leave us a comment below. Like DJ said, we want to know what's going on. We want to know what everybody's thinking and what else we can add to make this a better show for you guys. And with that, I think I'm good, man. We'll leave some links below for our social medias and, check us out, man. Have some interesting conversations there, too.
That's right.
And going to be starting a Facebook group soon. And so everybody can join the conversation and get rolling with this. All right, that's us
Till
signing
next
out.
time.
Don't miss it.